In this presentation, there is supernatural gore, which you'll see. It's quite gratuitous, adult themes, and no sarcasm at all. This is all earnest. So, from now, the way this is working, I just want to make this explicit that people knew about this shit. Every web request you make through an Australian ISP now is being logged on a computer somewhere. That's just happening, like, there's nothing you can do about it. Every phone call you make is being logged and retained for 2 years. Every text message you send is being logged and kept for 2 years. And the fact that you guys are here tonight, your mobile phone, mobile tracking devices are pinging certain towers in Sydney, and the fact that you guys are all here tonight is also going to be recorded in some sense for the next 2 years. So I just want to lay that down so that nobody thought that wasn't what was happening. This is actually what's happening. There it is. So just, we're all clear on this. Everyone knows that you're here 2 years. As a result of this, it's been really good because terrorism's been fixed. Everything is going to be okay forever. Terrorism has been fixed, which is good. Now, this sort of thing has also happened in other countries, certainly in Europe. I haven't had the time to check the news lately, but I assume that there hasn't been any bad terrorism shit happening anywhere in the world at any time recently because of this stuff that has fixed terrorism forever. So that's wonderful. No innocent people are dying for stupid reasons anymore. Why do people care about this in JavaScript? I've got some stuff for this because I thought that's what you want to hear about. It turns out that developers are helping the terrorists, and you guys may not have realized that you were doing this. I'm sure you didn't mean to be helping the terrorists, but you actually are. So let me explain how that works. Every request you make, so every AJAX request or whatever, is going to add to the ISP workload. It's more URLs that they have to log as having been visited. So this is going to cost time, money, disk space for the ISPs. And in the worst case, if the device gets full, because it's 100% filled up with stupid AJAX requests to check if someone has a new message or something, then the terrorists and the pedophiles are going to win, right? So we want to make sure that doesn't happen. That's why I'm talking about this, sarcasm free. So what do we do? How are we going to fix this? Firstly, and this is actually a proper technical tip, you should use HTTPS everywhere, because that will still log an IP address, but it doesn't log the path. I didn't know about that until a couple of months ago. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, I don't actually know a lot about this stuff. This is correct, thank you very much. So that will reduce the amount of data they have to store. Using HTTPS everywhere, it's a good idea. I heard somewhere that Google will bump you up in the rankings if you have HTTPS, because they want to reward people for doing that. So it's a good reason to do that. You want to think about using Tor, because that will reduce the amount of stuff that actually gets logged. Not for any other reason, but you might want to think about doing that just so terrorists and pedophiles who aren't using Tor will add to the log files and not you guys. You've probably heard if you download Tor, you get on a CIA watch list. You can easily deal with that by just downloading it while you're here tonight. And your home IP address won't be involved. We want to minimize the number of requests we make as developers. That's the best thing we can do to help out with this. So do you really need to use AJAX, right? Every AJAX request, an extra log in the file somewhere, maybe you can cut down on them. You can also just avoid generally making and receiving telephone calls. We'll just try and leave the phone network free for the terrorists and the pedophiles, and our stuff won't show up in there at all. You don't want to send or receive text messages for the same reason. That will cut down on their workload. And if you can stay in one place, you won't be logged at being at multiple cell towers. If you are traveling, just switch your phone off while you're traveling, and when you get to the other end, you can turn it on again. That should all help to solve terrorism, I think. To help you with HTTPS, something I've mentioned here before, there's a wonderful new-ish service called Let's Encrypt, which will give you free certificates to encrypt stuff without you having to pay money or anything like that. It's free, and it's automated, and it's open, and you can watch it on the web. It's sponsored by EFF and Mozilla, so there's not really a good reason not to use this. You can visit their website, let'sencrypt.org, but that's like something I previously in work I've always said I couldn't be bothered doing that. It's pretty easy now and you don't have to pay for it, so you don't really have that excuse. General Assembly, where I work, has not very protected Wi-Fi, so the network is called GA Guest, and the password is Yellow Pencil. We're on York Street. You can come use our Wi-Fi anytime to download Tor or whatever else you want. The nice thing about this is every GA campus in the world has the same network. So if you turn your computer on in any GA GA campus and you'll be straight online and you've got something like anonymous browsing, or BGA's problem. Sharky said I have to talk about Node in here because it's November, so I have the command line tool you use to get certificates from Let's Encrypt is actually written in Go, which is a pretty wonderful language. But if you guys love Node so much, this thing is called Automated Certificate Management Environment, or ACME, and there's a Node version of this. It's a piece of shit. It has a long bug list of things that need to be fixed. But if you guys love Node so much, why don't you go on GitHub and fix those bugs? One thing that is broken about it is it doesn't itself actually use HTTPS. So someone who knows about this kind of stuff could get that going. So that's all I'm going to say about Node. I think this is a big deal, and I'm not really comfortable with this, so I think we should talk more about it. You probably should think about getting your shit together with encryption, just in generally, how to send encrypted emails and stuff, because the UK is considering making encryption illegal there. You want to be ready for that kind of thing in case that should happen here. You should show your friends and family how to encrypt because you might find it easy, lots of other people don't, so you can share that information. You should probably get involved if you care about this stuff and you prefer that it wasn't the case. So you might consider investigating the Electronic Frontier Foundation or giving them money or becoming a member. They also have a pretty cute hack called the Surveillance Self-Defense Kit, which you can find on their website, which has lots of juicy stuff in it. The Electronic Frontiers Australia is like the local, not as good Australian version of that. And there's the New South Wales Council for Civil Liberties. Unfortunately, their meetings seem to coincide with SYDJS, so you have to pick one or the other. But they do exist, and they care about this stuff, and they want to do things about it, so that's good. This is the gratuitous score. I finished talking about Let's Encrypt and so on. One of my friends and former students was complaining to me that she wanted to read more computer science papers. And I said, why don't you open a Sydney chapter of the Papers We Love organization? And she did that, and she was going to talk about it here tonight, but she has tonsillitis, and she sent me this picture of her tonsillitis. If we can get the pharmacist from before to verify that this is actually tonsillitis. So I'm saying this on her behalf, but this is genuinely why she's not here saying it. She's Charlotte McCarthy, lovely human. This is the deal. It's called Papers We Love Sydney. The first meeting is Thursday, December 10. Very hard to pick dates for meetups in Sydney because there's always better things on. But if you'd like to come to that to talk about or hear people talking about scientific papers they love or computer science or maths, you can attend the first meeting somewhere in Surrey Hills. Not saying anything about Harvey Birdman will probably be there. So if you want to find it, Google for Papers We Love. It's not that hard, people. And I'm done. Thank you very much.